So being a leader has to be a big part of being the GOAT. And when you're a leader, leaders don't have these type of antics. You're going to have people, look at you certain ways like, you know what? That's not good, but I think LeBron's extremely smart. Would you say that? I think he's very intelligent because the things that and the reason I see your face, the reason I say that is because he's smart enough to understand that I'm not going to be the GOAT and I have to take the media world by storm. And I have to do these antics. And he's doing this because he's smart enough to know that nothing else is going to make me the GOAT. But he has gotten a lot of people to believe that he is the GOAT. I mean, that's not wrong, is it? I mean, am I wrong? It's a fact.
He got Selvin to believe that. Coach Scott, what's up?
Let's go.
Even though I killed the ghost, there's still room to debate. And every sport is on the clock, who being late with the grade. If you hungry for the smoke, then come and get you a plate. We just evaluate the game and we don't deal with the hate. Come tune into the show, cause we about to get into it.
Every sport has a GOAT.
But now it's time to prove it. Barbershop vibe saying what other shows couldn't. With a buyer Coach Scott, yeah, it's gonna be a good one. This ain't for the faint of heart. Tiger, Jordan, Messi or Babe Ruth, Brady, Serena, and Ali catch phase 2. Get your facts ready and no Wikipedia, cause ain't no off season, he don't go debate media.
Go debate media. Let's go.
Welcome back to another episode of GOAT Debate Media. I'm your host, Abaya Israel. Y'all see who it is, Coach J.O. All right, we did a show last, a few days ago, Coach J.O.? Yeah. Coach Scott wasn't with us, and we talked about LeBron James. I don't think he appreciated that. So today he says, no matter what, I'm calling into the show. I got business to handle, but y'all not finna talk about my man like that. Is that what you said, Coach Scott, or am I exaggerating a little bit?
Allegedly, he got business down. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Definitely exaggerating, but I'm glad to be here.
Hey, man.
I'm glad to hear your voice too, brother, man. I'm glad.
What's going on, fellas?
Nothing much. Coach Scott is on the road doing some traveling, so be safe on the road, definitely. But we're about to jump into the show. Kevin Durant is on Mind the Game podcast with LeBron James and Steve Nash. And LeBron James feels the need, this is all over the internet. Y'all probably seen it before already, but he feels the need to throw that little dagger in there. Anytime the 90s, maybe even the 80s, Michael Jordan, whoever. Coach Dale, Coach Scott, I don't really ever hear it when it's talking about Magic, a Bird, or somebody. Only Mike, which lets me know it's probably some undertone or underlying jealousy. It's just my thought process. But anyway, they're on there talking. Kevin Durant turns to LeBron James and asks him a question. Hey, what do you think about defense? And then LeBron James begins to respond. And then all of a sudden, that whole "we done with the 90s" things come out, which is to me one of the dumbest things that I think we've heard in recent times. The whole "we don't," probably why it didn't last long. What, a month or two? Yeah, it made it pretty far, but a month or two it fizzled out, so I guess. But let's check out what they said and what everybody's in a frenzy about, or more so what LeBron James said and everybody's in a frenzy about. But Coach Scott, I'm going to do you the honors before we start this reaction. Do you have anything that you would like to chime in with before we jump in?
Absolutely. Look, Clutch Sports. Look, if you're out there listening, and you should have someone out there listening, my fees are extremely reasonable. Extremely reasonable. Please, if you have a heart, if you would like for LeBron James to be one day known as the GOAT, please bring me a part of that staff, because we have to have a sit-down conversation first and foremost, because this is Sports Unfiltered, right?
Well, you just said you want to be on Clutch Sports, so I guess it is Sports Unfiltered. I'm trying to see where it's going.
Look, Mr. Paul, you got to sit LeBron down, and you guys got to have a real friend conversation and say, "Hey, look, man, sometimes you're doing more harm than helping your own campaign to be the greatest."
I think he knows that.
No, he don't know that.
I think they know that. You don't think he know that?
No,
I don't think so. I don't think so.
He wouldn't do it.
I think he knows it. I think they just don't care that we're going to do whatever we want to do, and because I believe he know his fans will believe anything.
Well, that's true.
You know, hey, listen, if I can tell them I'm 68 and I'm still going to play another 5 years and I'm going to play with my grandchildren and y'all don't think no PEDs involved, you will believe anything. You know what I mean? At some point, we just got to start, believing our common sense at some point. I just think they know that, and they know they can, spin narratives, but what I didn't just miss is Coach Scott literally just said he wanted to be a part of Clutch. Did I miss
I thought both of y'all was already a part of Clutch.
This dude go. Hey, listen.
This guy is funny.
One of us might be a part of Clutch
already. Hey,
one of us may be a part of Clutch. The other one of us is just honest when Coach Scott, beat you up, and when he wins, I just got. Hey, listen, man. Just because you lose, that don't mean I'm on Clutch. Okay, I just tell the truth. But anyway, before we get too far, let's jump into this video. We want to hear what they had to say. We want to respond. I think one, it was a lot of disrespect. I think two, matter of fact, let's just jump in and we'll start with that. Here we go. This is Steve Nash.
So the help's moving instead of the help. We like on offensively, we've liked for a period of time here just to know where the guys are. Just stay space, be in your spot. Now they're getting smarter. They're getting better at scheming. They're in the gaps. They're rotating. They're reading off each other. So then when you start moving around, whose help is that?
Exactly.
Right. So I think that's the era we're starting to get into offensively.
Would you say defenses have gotten better? More creative?
No, not in a sense, because I don't want to say more creative, because it's a switch league now. Everyone wants to switch. And to be honest, the only way that you can just like switch is you have to have the personnel to do it. But I think the creativity is happening like, and New York did a good job of this. Like sometimes when Jalen Brunson was getting switched off on Siakam, they was doing a great job of kicking him out.
Yeah. Especially in that post.
Yeah, on the post. I think that's been communicated a lot better. Like kicking a small guy out, telling him to go weak side corner or find somebody on the weak side, because there's not too many guys that can actually make the pass. Once the switch happens, he rolls him down and he can fire it weak side to get the shot. There's not many guys in our league that can make that. So I think as far as the creativity in that range has gotten better. But defense is always boiled down to just like fucking talking.
Yeah.
Right.
But you can make up a lot of shit by just talking through it too.
I would almost flip it. It's not the defense. Maybe defensive involved, not involved. Offenses have challenged them more.
Yeah, just challenged them more.
Challenged them more these
Definitely.
days. New solutions, playing fast.
Yeah.
Shooting the ball from farther out. Like, you watch clips from 15, 20 years ago, like almost everybody's inside the three-point line.
Everybody.
Yeah, 15, 20 years ago, shit, I was in the league. I thought you were about to say some shit about the 90s.
Only one of us was in the league.
down with the 90s.
That team, that 90s bled into the early 2000s.
They did.
That was the same type
They
of
did.
ball.
It did.
There's probably one three-point shooter on every team.
Bro,
Right there. So now a lot of people may say, well, man, that was innocent. That wasn't too much. He just simply said we done with the 90s. But I believe there's underlying tones to everything. Coach J.O., I think when you say something like, for example, let's say you're on social media and let's say somebody they're talking about you, Coach J.O. Hey, Coach J.O., he's a crappy coach, this and that. If I hit the like button, that's me showing that I agree with it, is it not? Right. Or am I making this up? Or Coach Scott, they were like, hey, Coach Scott can't coach. And if I hit the like button, people speak through social media. People speak through these type of things, right? And so for you to say we done with the 90s, knowing what that really means and knowing the level of disrespect it had for the players that came before you, paved the way for you, actually the players who actually paved the way so you can be a billionaire. To say we done with the 90s is at a level of disrespect that I just can't really wrap around my brain. What about you, Coach J?
Well, initially hearing it, I thought it was jovial. I thought LeBron was just saying, oh, we done with the 90s or whatever, right? And listening to it more and seeing the comments in the comments board, most people feel like you feel. Hey, this was LeBron being passive aggressive as he normally is, right? Now, LeBron James knows, as you stated, that whatever he says his fans will gravitate to it. He understands that.
Yeah.
All right. He'll throw something out there. He'll post something on social media. He'll say this, say that. And then when fans react, he says they're overreacting. Hey, go find something to do. Hey, it's the 4th of July. Go find a plate. Whatever he might say. Okay. Now, but Kevin Durant, I don't know if Kevin Durant kind of corrected him. He said the 90s bled over to the early 2000s. You know who played in the early 2000s? LeBron James.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Okay. So what are you actually saying, LeBron? What are you actually saying? Because those same players that they say we're done with the 90s was the same players that were kicking your butt. Tim Duncan, Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, Ray Allen, Jason Kidd. They were kicking your butt.
JJ Barrera, the Jet,
Dirk Nowitzki. They were kicking your butt.
All from the 90s.
All from the 90s. Okay? Look at all the top 75 players. Most of those are played in the 90s. Majority of those guys played in the 90s.
Coach, so you know what gets me? You know what gets me really quickly? And Coach got to go in as well. When they talk about like the 90s or even the 80s as if they were just such a crappy era of basketball, like players are bigger, stronger, faster now. What I can't understand is why is it that the two best players in the league right now look like they're from what? The 80s, right? Luka and Joker are not the fastest players. They're not the quickest players, but they are fundamentally more sound than a lot of other players you see.
Even SGA looked like early 2090 players. He's not super athletic.
Right. So if they're bigger, faster, stronger, Coach Scott, why do we always see the players of today's time always injured? They play less games than the players of the 90s. Like, for example, Jordan played all 82 games like 9 times out of 15 years. And another time, another one of those years is like a 1 game miss or maybe 2 games be missed. But primarily, he played 82 games every season. But yet, these players in the 80s, the 90s that are playing all these games, they're not getting hurt every 5 minutes, nor did they have all the science, technology, and sports technology and the science behind them that players today have. So my question is, why are you done with the 90s? Because the 90s played and did things with lack of sports technology that you guys have. They actually paved the way for you to get the big contracts, the shoe deals, and everything else. These are the players that paved the way. Why would the face of the league at this point make the statement of disrespect to that degree? I can only say one thing, Coach Scott, and I want you to weigh in, and that's because it's out of jealousy. He's like, as he stated, Coach Scott, he's chasing the ghost. What do you say? I know he's on the road.
Well, I definitely would say he's definitely chasing the ghost, and I think, again, just for his legacy and for his peace of mind, man, I think he just needs to ride off into the sunset away very quietly. But doing podcasts like this, I mean, they're always going to be barn burners because everything he says, everything he kind of alludes to, and conversation or what we like to call hidden conversation, people are going to amplify it. And him saying, in a Canty Vander type of way, we're done with the 90s. I think that again, you got people like Coach J.O. and things of that nature that are going to make a burn napkin turn into a burning forest. They're going to amplify it to the nth degree, and they're going to make it be, something that, a little bit, make it be bigger than what it may have truly been. Now, are there some underlying tones? I do agree with that. I think that everything that is stated from a person's kind of mental prowess is stated for a specific reason. What did he gain out of that? No, absolutely not. And that's why I feel like his team has to sit him down and say, bro, it's better to just score points, be the greatest and shut the hell up and get in the corner and be quiet, as opposed to putting yourself in positions to answer questions or make commentary on things where they're going to amplify it to the nth degree.
Are you saying he's the greatest? He's the greatest?
And what means?
I don't know.
Yes, I I do feel like LeBron James is the greatest in different aspects of the game of basketball. Absolutely, 100%. Yes.
Is he the greatest player to ever play basketball?
As it pertains to, again, my GOAT 1A, 1B, Mike LeBron. Absolutely. GOAT 1A, 1B, 100%. He's my GOAT 1B. Yes.
I guess that you can, that's fair, because I could say, well, I think Hakeem Olajuwon or some someone's the greatest shot blocker of the game. There's different aspects where people can be the greatest. That's fair. But I'm glad you cleared that up. You did say GOAT 1A, 1B. I don't even agree with the 1B, but I understand where you're coming from. But Coach Dale, you want to
how many times have I said about you that this whole LeBron James is the GOAT thing, or LeBron James is, as he said, 1A, 1B, the number 2. This stuff is socially engineered. You just admitted, Coach Scott, that he needs to sit down and be quiet and stop it. Okay? Because he's pushing this narrative. He's going to continue to push it and push it and push it and push it. Okay? He can't get enough of this. When have you ever heard Michael Jordan say or try to push himself as the greatest? When have you ever heard Kobe Bryant try to push himself as the greatest? When have you heard Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Larry Bird push themselves as the greatest?
Well, I can answer that question. What they'll come with is, well, Michael Jordan and Wilt Chamberlain had a disagreement on who was a better player. And the last guy I had the conversation with, I said, can you show me the clip where they were having that conversation? Because I've never seen it. Have you seen it, Coach? I've never seen it or heard the conversation.
I haven't. I heard Wilt say something, but I didn't hear Michael Jordan say anything. I heard Wilt say something before.
Yeah, right, that conversation I never know of.
Right, I definitely heard about the conversation. As it pertains to clips, no. But it was said that Michael Jordan and Wilt were over in the corner, kind of with elevated tones and just really trying to express why they felt like they were the greatest in the game.
But even if they do, though, we've never heard this.
Yeah, we've never heard. I'm pretty sure Michael Jordan believes that. I'm sure Michael Jordan believes he's the greatest. Yeah. I'm sure Kobe does. I'm sure those are conversations that happen behind closed doors, but not getting on podcasts, doing interviews, saying when I won the championship. Oh no, when I came back from 3-1 in the 2016 NBA Finals, that made me the greatest ever.
But Coach J.O., when I came back, that made me the GOAT. That one did it. That was LeBron James's word, right? But in Miami, when you lost with Dwayne Wade, when you lost with Chris Bosh, well, we didn't have a super team. It's always a way out. So now you didn't have a good team. Although you played with one of the most stacked teams in NBA history, that wasn't a super team. But when you do win, it's when I do something. And that's why I don't know, Coach Scott, if I can agree with you when you say this is a burning napkin that they're making into a burning forest, because he did that, I think, strategically. Again, if I went to someone's social media and they spoke something negatively about any one of your coaching abilities, and I click a simple like, and I'm like, it wasn't that serious, man. I just clicked the like button. I liked the post. But why did you like the post, though? You know what's going on. You know why it was said. And that like says a lot. To say we're done with the 90s says an awful lot. Coach Scott, I just need to ask you this question. Why do you think it's a burning force? If you're on mute, come off mute, Coach Scott. Why do you think it's a burning napkin rather than a burning forest? Basically, it's not that bad. It's really nothing. We're just making it out of nothing, making it into something.
I think that LeBron James is a showman, and him saying that is really a clickbait thing. He wants the attention. It was said for Canty Bender. I don't think it was said to be, with a malicious undertone, but with the undertone nonetheless. Now, do I feel like there are some podcasters out there that are saying LeBron James is basically a non-historian of a game. He's being so disrespectful that it takes away his ability to really pay homage and the respect for those who came before him. And I vehemently disagree with that, because to listen to this man speak about basketball and those who actually played the game in different positions and reel off history about those players and the time frame that they played in, I think, it can get unbalanced really quick in a conversation of those sorts. But I think that, again, it's the weight that you want to put on it. I think he was saying it for Candy Bender and for attention. I don't think he was saying it to be malicious.
But Coach Scott, let me ask you something real quick. I'm going to give it to you, Coach JL. Not too long ago, recently, LeBron James says he argues that Michael Jordan gets too much credit for his championships. People act like he did it all by himself. Now, this is the same guy who said when they won the 2016 finals, that did it. That one made me the GOAT. Not us, not a great team. Not that I had a player averaging almost 30 in Kyrie. Not that Kyrie hit the game winning shot. Not that Kyrie had to hit 41 points in the finals. Mike never had that, right? He never had that. What the weapons that LeBron had. My point, my reason in bringing that up, Coach Scott, is because this is not the first time that he's brought up Michael Jordan. And just Coach J.O., maybe a few weeks ago, they asked Michael Jordan, hey, do you think LeBron James could have played in your era? What Mike say? LeBron could play in any era. That was no negative shot. That was nothing that. But when you hear from LeBron, there's always some undertone, even if it's he's been jovial, it's cancer, it's banter, whatever. It always seems to be negativity, and that negativity always seems to be aimed towards, if not Michael Jordan directly, towards the 90s in order to downplay his competition, to downplay his greatness. And that's what he does time and time again. Am I wrong by that, Coach Dale?
No, you're not wrong. And and I will agree with you, Coach Scott. I don't think LeBron said this in a malicious way. I don't think he said it in a malicious way. But I do, as we are stating right now, he understands that anything, like the only people who say we're done with the 90s are LeBron James fans. Those are the people who run with that. So for him to say that, he understands that his fan base are the only people that are saying we're done with the 90s, or majority of the people that are saying that are the LeBron James fans.
It's like he threw the hat. He threw the hat, Coach Dale. He threw the hat.
You know what I'm saying? Because they say that to counteract or combat Jordan's height. Okay, the 90s was Jordan reign. You know what I'm saying? That was when he was at his peak powers.
Right.
So they'll just say we're done with the 90s because that's when Jordan played.
Right. Right. And it's not only just, all right, we got to be honest here, right? Let's just be honest. First, it was let's downplay the ring culture, right?
I forgot about that.
Yeah, he downplays the ring culture. Now, what I want to, bring into light is this, that I think the whole ring culture argument is something that was initially started by his fans, LeBron James fans. You know why? Because they always say, oh, you guys always talk about 6-0 rings like that's the only thing that makes, you the GOAT. No, it wasn't just 6-0. It's a plethora of different things why we say Mike is the GOAT. You guys are the only ones that ever focus on the 6 rings because you feel like that's your, I guess, best point of attack, right? And so that whole ring culture conversation, I don't think it came from Michael Jordan fans. I don't think it came from that side. I think it came from, and what they do oftentimes is they create a narrative just to disprove that same narrative, just to pretend like they won an argument to make a point. And I'll give you another point to clear up what I'm saying. Remember the 91 finals when Pippen guarded Magic that game 1 because Mike got in foul trouble? And all of a sudden, it became Pippen always guarded the best players. The whole narrative was created behind that. But you could tell they never watched the finals because Mike got back on Magic and held Magic to 0-0-0 in the fourth quarter. Magic did absolutely nothing from that point. Mike held Magic the majority of that series. Mike was, he's pretty close to averaging the triple-double that series in 91. But yet, since Pippen guarded Magic for that small extent, right, that small period of the game, what ended up happening was a narrative was created that Pippen is the top defensive guy, and he's the one who always guards the best defenders. Now, if you say anything other than that, it's just a narrative that they create so they can come back and kind of defeat the narrative. It's the same thing with the ring culture. Excuse me. It's the same thing with the ring culture conversation. No one ever just focused on 6 rings with Mike, right? It's a lot of things Mike did. The scoring titles, the all NBA, the all defense, the defensive player of the year, plus the 6 titles, not just the 6 titles, being undefeated. Not just that, even from college, he's been winning since the time he came into the league, right? Then they'll point out, it's early losses. Okay, cool. But the point is this, the whole ring culture, the whole we done with the 90s, is it not just something to find to attack the 90s so you can downplay what he did, what he accomplished? That way, if I can get enough people saying that he's not great, well, guess what? They're going to put me as the GOAT. But how do you do that? Like, that's my point and my problem with it.
But that attack doesn't work. Not with people that are logical. Anyway, it's not going to work.
But most people are not logical.
Well, LeBron James fans aren't logical.
Well, yeah, right.
Well, most of them aren't logical. Okay, but that's not going to work because people act like we wasn't there in real time. People act like we wasn't there in the 93 or 96 or 98, 2002, 2004, 2008, 2012. People act like we weren't living then. All right? We're not children up here. All right? We don't got to disclose our ages, but we're not teenagers.
Right.
We was around during these times. So to try to piss on us and tell us it's raining, that's just disingenuous. I'm sorry.
Well, that's what it is. That's what it is. So, all right. So I got Coach Scott's thought process. Go ahead, Coach Scott. You can get in there.
Nah, Coach J.O. is crazy. No, man. I think you guys make, solid arguments as it pertains to, LeBron just needing to back up a little bit and just let it play out the way it's going to play out. I mean, if people don't feel he's the GOAT, they're never going to feel that way. Some people feel that he got to go through Kobe. Some people feel like he's got to go through other players. Some people feel like he's not in the top 8 of the greatest players of all time. So, like, crazy people say things like that, Coach Dale. But, shit. I mean, LeBron has to realize, like, you're on the back nine, man, and you probably got 2 more holes to play. Play those holes the best you can, man, and go and take it in and let the scorecard play out the way it's going to play out. I think that needs to be the message moving forward, as opposed to, giving people, all of this media attention, this podcast attention, to kind of really tear down his own legacy.
Hey, can I ask you something?
I agree with that.
Something real quick, right? You just made a statement. You said that what did you say? You said something along the lines.
I said you were crazy. You didn't have any.
No. You said no. You said
Yeah.
in some people's eyes, LeBron James just would never be the GOAT.
Yeah,
right?
in some people's eyes, absolutely.
Okay, can you admit though? Because I know people personally who were big LeBron James fans over the last 6, 7, 8 years ago, but over the last 3 or 4 years, they literally just said, "Nope, I'm washing my hands with this guy because of his antics."
That's true.
Because of antics, not basketball. Wow. Okay. Go ahead.
But no, all of that is intertwined, though.
It can't be.
But it is.
It can't be. No, it's not. Listen. Here, let me explain. Shedeur Sanders is a great quarterback. His antics made people afraid to draft him. The two are not the same. You can't pee on me and tell me it's rain. You just said that.
What antics? What antics the Shedeur had like that? What he did like football wise? He didn't do anything.
I would agree with you, but
LeBron James. But it's different with LeBron. It's different. Okay, you just got your agent just put out this long soliloquy about first you came out and did a podcast talking about ring culture. It's not about rings. It's not about rings. Then your agent come out and tell the world that, hey, LeBron James in his last year, we are doing whatever we can do to win a championship. This, and that. Okay, cool, LeBron. Well, you don't think the Lakers team is good enough to win. Why did you opt into your contract, LeBron? Why did you opt into? You had the option, LeBron, to not opt into that contract, and you could have went to any team that you wanted to go to. But no, you chose to opt into your contract. And when you opted into your contract, your agent put out this long passive-aggressive soliloquy to the team about how they need to improve, so on and so forth. That's what I'm talking about.
Coach Dale, you're the same guy 2 years ago. The same guy begging that LeBron James be traded, even retire from the Lakers. You're the same guy. But now that the man does not want to go to another organization and create another super team and have to bite and fight people saying, oh, he just opted out to go make another super team and play. The guy is trying to stay in LA, play out his last year or two or whatever he's gonna play.
I don't think he's trying to. I don't really think he's trying to stay in LA.
Well, he opted into his contract though.
Yeah, but I think he's trying to make moves though. I think he may try and get traded. I wouldn't be surprised if he try and find. It was just some rumors, but I guess I don't know all the details of it because I didn't look into it too much because I was just tired of hearing about it. But there were some rumors that I did hear about something with Dallas. I don't even know if that can happen. But, I wouldn't be surprised if he was trying to get over there. I wouldn't be surprised if the reason he is taking pictures in Cleveland is because now Cleveland has a nice young star that he's trying to get to. I really believe in my heart of hearts, and the evidence came out. He knew about the AD trade for Luka, but now that Luka gets there, that report that recently came out about LeBron James and drawing a blank, Austin Reeves not wanting to play with Luka, I think that was true. I think it's 100% truth to that. Now, I will go out and say that I can't prove it, but I don't think the reports might. I don't think, just being honest, I don't think the reports are false. I think he is positioning himself. He will open up and opt to be traded somewhere. And I think a deal will be cut. He's trying to go somewhere where he can win a championship after claiming he don't really care about ring culture, but he wants to win a ring. I don't know. I don't have a problem with what LeBron does. I don't have a problem with the super teams. I don't have a problem with him going from team to team. I don't have a problem with any of that. My only problem is when you do it, you lie about it. Try and make it seem like it never happened. Like, just be who you are. Do what you do. Stop trying to throw rocks and hide your hand. That's the part I don't like about it. It's like all kind of like undercover to me. I could be wrong. What say you, Coach Dale?
I'm with you. That's why I'm trying. These are the antics, but those are the antics. Those are the antics, and people have been turned off from LeBron. I'm not speaking for myself, but I just know a lot of people who were like stout LeBron James fans, and they just don't wash their hands with him. They just have. They just sick of it.
That's true. That's
especially
true.
People in LA.
Yeah, because being a GOAT, actually being a leader is a part of being the GOAT. Like, you have to be a leader. You can't be the greatest of all time if you've never been the leader. Like, we talked about Kevin Durant the other night. Said he didn't want to be a leader, having shown a lot of leader qualities at certain points. So we wouldn't consider him the GOAT, but he's a great, all-time great player. So being a leader has to be a big part of being the GOAT. And when you're a leader, leaders don't have these type of antics. You're going to have people, look at you certain ways. Like, you know what? That's not good, But I think LeBron's extremely smart. Would you say that? I think he's very intelligent because the things that and the reason I see your face. The reason I say that is because he's smart enough to understand that I'm not going to be the GOAT and I have to take the media world by storm and I have to do these antics. And he's doing this because he's smart enough to know that nothing else is going to make me the GOAT. But he has gotten a lot of people to believe that he is the GOAT. I mean, that's not wrong, is it? I mean, am I wrong? It's a fact.
He got Sylvan to believe that. Coach Scott, what's up?
I think he said 1B or something like that.
No doubt. No doubt. Hey, look, he better than your boy.
Okay, I guess.
Who, Mike?
All right.
I guess
KD is the guy. He's better than KD.
Well, that was a question at one point in time as well. And that's something else. At one point, it was a question, was KD the best player in the league? We know Kobe was the best player. You know, Kobe got older, he went out. There was never a question of who was the best player while Mike was playing. And that's what LeBron's trying to ride. Let's just say he had no competition, y'all. Let's say he had no competition. Let's say we're done with the 90s. But yet, if you look at the comparison between the 90s and now, 90s was what? The golden era of basketball. The 90s had some of the highest ratings ever. Now
Still
you
got
look
the
at
highest rated game ever. The 1998 Game 6, 1998 finals, the highest rated game
most
ever.
watched. I don't think it'll get back to that. It was like a year or two ago, the NFL was like NFL, Christmas Day, NBA. Like, you're losing to other leagues, but while you're supposed to have the best player ever to GOAT, why are people not watching? So it's not like we're just hating, like, oh, you're haters. Everybody say they're haters. We're not just haters, but you know, it's not even basketball anymore at this point. It's not. I don't even know what it is. Ballet, I guess. But anywho, Coach Scott, you're on the road. I'm gonna give you the last word before we get out of here. You got anything you want to say before we get out of here? And make sure you drive safely, get to your destination. But I'll give you the last word.
Absolutely, man. Tonight's show was a blast. Always a pleasure, Coach JL. Love you, man. A great show. You know, we got to be patient with LeBron, man. We got to be patient with him. He's chasing a ghost, and it's hard to be great and chase the ghost, man. It's hard to still actively be doing what he's doing at the level he's doing it at, and still be compared to a man who hasn't touched the basketball in a competitive way for over 30 years. That's a hard pill, man. That's a hard pill to swallow. For every corner that steps on the field, they got to be compared to Deion Sanders, and he ain't backpedaled, and they got half his toes. So he ain't even out there trying to backpedal. But to be compared to him, you know, that's those type of things. You know, it's hard for modern day players. They're just not built the same. They're not, you know, as competitively or mentally tough as they were when we were coming up. And, you know, this is just the remnants of what that looks like.
Yeah, well, that was logical. I told you, Coach AO, look, Coach Scott is the most logical LeBron fan I've ever met. You don't have to look like that. Nah, I would disagree with the being patient part. You know, we've been patient for like 23 years, so how much more patience we can give. But anyway, with that being said, hey, make sure you guys hit the like and subscribe button. Help the channel grow. We're trying to reach 10,000 subs. I know it's been a little bit of an absence, just based on schedules. Everybody has such crazy schedules, but we're trying to get it all together. Make sure you like, subscribe, share the videos, and make sure you tune in each and every time we drop a video. And until next time, we are out.
Let's go.
Even though I killed the ghost, there's still room to debate. And every sport is on the clock, who being late with the grade. If you hungry for the smoke, then come and get you a plate. We just evaluate the game and we don't deal with the hate. Come tune into the show, cause we about to get into it.
Every sport has a GOAT.
But now it's time to prove it. Barbershop vibe saying what other shows couldn't. With a buyer Coach Scott, yeah, it's gonna be a good one. This ain't for the faint of heart. Tiger, Jordan, Messi or Babe Ruth, Brady, Serena, and Ali catch phase 2. Get your facts ready and no Wikipedia, cause ain't no off season, he don't go debate media.
Go debate.